Texas Tiger Diggs, and I did a video a while back on how to buy a detector on eBay. Now I'm going to do a video on how to sell a detector. Now, when you're selling, I'm not selling this, by the way. This is just my compadre. It's the lightest detector I've got. I can maneuver it around and pretend like it's the one I'm selling without affecting my arm too much. And so now I think I am very qualified for this particular video, because you know, at any given time I've had between 6 and 10 detectors. I don't know exactly what the numbers is. I have to go find them and count them. They're in various closets hidden around, just so it wouldn't make it easy for a burglar to come in here and take all my detectors. But if you look here, the main thing you've got to understand with this is to sell a detector, you need to be honest about what you're selling, and you need to make sure that you describe it precisely, because you're going to be dealing sometime with people who are newbies, and I'm going to be talking about that more. That can be a nightmare. I had one sale I made that was probably my worst sale ever. My only bad sale I've ever had, where this guy was just a plain off his rocker, basically. And I should have known when he called the coil the head. He says, "What size head do these detectors use?" And I thought to myself, this might not be good. So you need to understand that in some places, sometimes you're going to have to be an educational resource when you're selling your detector to somebody who doesn't know what they're buying. Because if they're dissatisfied, you're either going to get it back, you're going to get a bad rating, etc. You know, it's just a holy nightmare. Anyway, the main thing about a detector is you have to look at your detector like you're buying it new. And you see here, you see that tape I have on this. This is not a fault. This is because the compadre speaker is loud as all get out. So you tape it up to make it tolerable when it does its initialization test. So you have to look at your detector like you're buying a new detector, and find every fault in there that you would return it for, because you are selling a used detector. Now, if this was fresh off the showroom floor, or out of a catalog, or off the internet, which is basically what catalogs are today, I'm showing my age, or off the internet, then you need something that is as close to pristine as you can get, because you're paying full price. But when you're selling a used detector, you've got to find every scar, every blemish, etc., and you have to factor that into not only your sale price, but build it into your description. For instance, this is a compadre. It does not have a coil cover. I don't find it very necessary on a detector of this price range, though it's a great detector. I don't care if it gets scratched up, it's not going to be sold. It's just, if I were to sell it, the amount of money I would get would not make it worth the sale, basically. Would worth the headaches of getting it posted, etc. So, but if you have don't have a coil cover, and you have blemishes on it, tell them about it. Or you even tell them if you got a coil cover on it, said the only thing wrong with it is there are a few blemishes on the coil cover. Now, so you have to make that very, very clear. And so what you're looking at here is getting your description correct, and that's the most important part, is getting your description correct. Well, one of the two most important parts. And the other part is setting your price fairly. If it is used, do not sell it for a new price. Now, you would say, if I can sell it for a new price and get it, why don't I? Because there's a nightmare to that, and I'm going to go into that in a bit. But when you sell, I'll tell you about it right now. When you sell at a new price, and I'm calling a new price anything within 10% of a new detector, then you are expected to give or show a new product. That doesn't work. Now, if you just took it out of the box and for some reason you don't want to take it back, then you could sell it and then say, like new, great. And basically what you're saying is you can't tell this from a new one, if you were to buy one. And that's great, but that like I says, if you vary that price too close to the new price, you're going to be placing yourself in the position of a merchant selling a new product, and you might get it returned if there's a scratch or if there's a scar, if there's a ding. So you have to be very, very careful of that. And if you set your price too high, you also set the service you're going to give the buyer very high. So you're might have to educate your buyer. You might have to give them a few lessons in basic detecting if they're a newbie, etc. So, and because if they're not a newbie, they're not going to pay that price. You can almost tell if you get 15% or 20% or 25% off of a detector. There's a good chance that if you sell it, you might be selling it to an experienced detectorist, because he's going to know you're not gouging him and you're selling it for value. You're not selling it for perfection, you're selling it for value. And if you get an experienced detectorist, that's the person you would prefer to sell to. And I'm not saying that because you can gouge a newbie. I'm just saying you don't want to always have to educate a newbie. Now, there's two ways to sell it. If you're in a hurry, I would sell it at a fixed price and take offers. If you're not in a hurry and you want most value, I would set it at a fixed price at the upper end of what I think it would be worth, and then just wait. Now, I might set it for a 10-day or even a 30-day or a 10-day, and then have it re-up every 10 days for 3 times. I think that eBay allows that. If you're in a hurry, like I said, fixed price at a mid-range price, with the understanding you might go even lower, then you would probably take offers, and that would work fine. Now, if you're going to do an auction, then you know how long this auction is going to take, whether it's successful or not. Basically what I was telling you before, you can set it to renew or re-up the auction if it doesn't. When you sell it at an auction, re-up if you're going to set a fixed price. If you're selling it at an auction, you set your price low. You can set a $1,000 detector and beginning at $200, and eBay, it's very unlikely it's going to stay at $200, and you're going to get it up close to what you probably would have gotten if you'd charged a fixed price. That doesn't always work. Now, there's some guidelines you've got to do. Now, if you're going to sell at an auction, then you know it's probably going to sell, because you're going to set your initial price at most 50% of the new value if it's a respectable condition machine. So you know you're going to sell. Now, the thing you want to do is get the maximum price you could sell for, and that requires timing. I would never sell about an auction on anything that doesn't end on the weekend in the afternoon or evenings. So if it's a 5-day auction, I'm not sure when, Tuesday, Wednesday, probably. And then you're going to make sure that you know it's going to end in the afternoon on Saturday or Sunday. If it's a 7-day auction, start it on Saturday in the evening or Sunday in the evening, make it simple, so you'll know it's going to end in 7 days at that exact same time. Because if you don't, I have purchased a detector because a person had their auction ending at 2 a.m. in the morning. I saw that and I said, oh great, this thing is going to be very undervalued. So I purchased it and felt no qualms about doing that, because it was a stupid thing to do to set their auction end at those times. So make sure it ends in the afternoon or early evening, probably would be preferably on Saturday or Sunday, because you want as many time zones as possible for people to have done what they're going to do that day and be able to be relaxing and sitting in front of their computer that night. So whatever you have to do to make sure that California to New York or Pacific to the Eastern, that you get the majority of people possible who's sitting and relaxing and have got time to make those bids near the end of the auction, because that's when you make most of your value most of the time. So that's one thing you've got to be aware of. Now another thing, and I'm actually reading notes on this because I want to make sure I got this right, and something I don't do, even if I haven't written in for the warranty and I have the warranty card, I don't promise warranty. I never promise warranty. I will tell them I've got the warranty card. You know, most time the warranty card asks where you got it from. You know, they can put whatever they want there. It's not my conscience that's going to deal with anything they do or don't put there. But I don't promise warranty ever. And especially if I don't have the warranty card, etc., I usually say, I will tell them whether or not I filed for the warranty for that device. I'll say I did or I didn't. If I didn't sign for the warranty, they're free to make an attempt to get the warranty. I'm not involved in that, but I do not promise warranty ever. And you shouldn't promise warranty unless you're a dealer selling a demo, and then of course dealers have the ability, even with a demo, because it's leaving their possession going to somebody else's, that's when the warranty applies. So dealers can do that. As an individual seller, I don't do that. And I mentioned a newbie. Like I said, you can decide whether you're working with a newbie by basically the questions they ask initially. If they don't ask questions, there's no way you can know. But chances are, if they don't ask questions, they're not newbies. They know what they're getting, and you've given enough of a detail in the description for them to know what they're buying. And you know, and people are pretty confident buying on eBay because there's not only I usually take back if there's something I send, and I know that's a risk because they could break it and send it back to me. I usually assume that risk, but you can also say you don't take returns, and they're still covered by eBay's guarantee. So people are pretty confident that they're going to get something that functions. Like I said, a newbie's going to ask you a bunch of questions. They're probably going to use the wrong terminology, and you're going to have to probably do some education. So if you're going to be dealing with a newbie, understand that's probably going to be what's going to occur. Now, another guideline, and I skip this and go back to the price. When you set the price on yours, eBay will give you a suggested price when you get down to that position of the form. I'm not giving a basic instruction on eBay. Most of you already know it, or there's 8,500 or 85,000 different videos on how eBay works. But they also put a suggested price down there. Sometimes that suggested price, it says to both, most likely to get a sale, you need to price it between this amount and this amount. Sometimes it's correct. Sometimes it's completely, utterly wrong. It's an algorithm that does that, and sometimes just the way you phrase it in your description or your title might throw it off, and it might just, the algorithm might be wrong for this particular object. So you decide what you're going to charge, and then you live with that. Don't let eBay decide. And there's another way you can also do that, and the way I do it most often is I find the completed listings. You go to search and you go to advanced options and you find completed listings and sold listings. I go to the sold listings and see how much it's selling for, and that will sometimes affect exactly how I'm selling and what I'm selling. So that's another thing you need to do. And another thing you do, you follow all these, you set the price right, you get your sale through auction or through fixed price or through fixed price take offers, wherever you want to do it. Make sure you ship it right. I have purchased things that have come basically rumbling around in a box with no packing. Not a good idea. On every occasion so far, the detector has worked perfectly. I didn't raise sand about it. I'm not an expert detectorist, but I have enough experience to know when I get something whether or not likely it's going to function correctly, and I have not had issues with that. But make sure that if you do it, you put bubble wrap or whatever you've got, paper, whatever you got, to make sure it doesn't roll around. Now, the other thing you want to do is Now, basically, what I'm saying here and what I'm assuming you're doing when you're selling your detector is you're selling it to upgrade. I'm not saying get out of the hobby. We need all the people in the hobby that we can get. So don't just sell it and give up. You know, try a little longer. You know, I know this hobby's not for everybody. It takes a little patience. It takes just a little wachakas to get out and go to a public park. If you do that kind of hunting, it takes a little courage, and to go out in fields, especially if you're going solo. You need to be prepared to defend yourself. If you're going out in a field area or someplace. Now, protect yourself from wild animals or wild people. Sad to say, that's the way this world works. So this is not a hobby that's right for everybody. It took me a long time to get the fortitude to go to public parks, because that's what I've got available here mostly, and do detecting, because I was sure I was going to be thrown out. I was sure people are going to be looking at me strangely. They do look at me somewhat strangely sometimes. I don't care anymore, and I've had nothing but good consequences. I've had police slow down and take a good long look at me and then move on. And I had one policeman just come in. He came and parked beside me. He got out of his car. He reached under his hood, did something, fixed his thing, waved at me, then left. So it's not like it's a bad thing. So basically, that's what I'm telling you. You know, you make sure your description is right. You make sure your price is right. You use eBay as a resource for doing that, and then you sell it. Now, if you're going to rebuy on eBay, remember eBay has as many new sellers and dealers out there in detectors that you can shake your finger at. So you can sell your old detector and upgrade right on eBay. You never have to take it out of PayPal. PayPal is what you're going to need. You're going to have PayPal. You're going to have an eBay account and a PayPal account. You sell this, your money goes into PayPal, and you can just let it sit there. Go find the detector you want, new or used, run it through PayPal. If it's paid fully from what you just sold, it doesn't even touch your bank account or your credit card. But if you do have a difference, they usually require a credit card or a bank or some type of bank attachment, then you're going to get that deducted, and then they're going to take the rest out of the bank or off your credit card. And so that's another thing. Now there are other avenues you can sell. You can do Amazon. I've sold things on Amazon. Never sold a detector on Amazon. I've sold electronic equipment, routing equipment for internet and things on Amazon. I have no trouble with it. But remember, on Amazon, you're going to get paid at the end of the month or whenever their payment cycle runs. But it's once a month their payment cycle runs. So you're going to have to sell it, wait for your money, or wait for your money to get deposited into your account, etc. And then you make your purchase, or you can make your purchase, and then just your money will come when it comes, whatever Amazon's schedule is. eBay is good because technically you get your money immediately, though it goes into PayPal. It's not in your pocket, but it's there where you can either bring it down to your bank account, and it'll be there in a couple of days or so, or you just leave it there and just rotate it back. I hope that's what you're going to do, and you're going to get your new whiz-bang machine, whatever that particular thing is. You can also sell on Craigslist. I've never sold a detector on Craigslist. I have sold other things. I have no issues with that. There's some people have safety concerns because you're going to have to either meet somebody, and that's probably the preferable way, or somebody's going to come to your house, etc. I've had both of them happening, but I'm a big guy. I'm not afraid of anybody, coming in and robbing me or assaulting me. Not overly afraid. I'm aware of it. If you're not big, if you're a young man or a young lady, or you just don't want to risk that, then you can just meet them at a parking lot at a mall or something, and then make the exchange. If you're going to go to Craigslist, let them take a look at it, try it out if they want to, wherever you meet, and then just set the deal and go. So that's also an alternative, and that's a no-cost alternative. Remember, Amazon and eBay do cost. There's some cost involved in those purchases, etc. Though with a purchaser, you don't see that cost, but the seller sees the cost. In any case, that's basically what I wanted to go over with you. So basically, like I'm saying, if you're going to sell, and this is basic directions on selling on eBay. Since I did the one on buying, I thought I would do the one on selling. Because if you are a new detectorist, or even a detectorist of some vintage, chances are at some point you're going to be selling your detector to upgrade or to get a newer, better detector, or you're going to find your detector doesn't fit what you need and you're going to find a different type of detector. Either one of those things are immensely possible. So basically, that's all I'm going to give you on that. And like I said, I have had a lot of experience flipping detectors in and out. I've had my AT Pro twice. I had it once. I didn't know what I was doing. I got it again. I do know what I'm doing. It's not ever going anywhere again. I've had E-Tracks and I've had V3Is, and they've come and gone. The E-Track I do regret it in retrospect. The V3I potentially also, but that was time when I was a little bit less knowledgeable. I was knowledgeable about eBay, but not knowledgeable about Detector, so I did make some mistakes. So those mistakes added to my eBay experience. Anyway, that's all I've got, and I wanted to just run that down to you. So hopefully some of this information will be of use to you. If you decide to go out and you decide to make a purchase of some kind, either this or anything else, most of these ideas I've got you pretty much applies to anything you would sell on eBay. You can generalize, but basically my function is to give you the money that you can get, or to get you the money in eBay. You can stick in PayPal and maybe just go straight back out to eBay and find a good independent dealer out there. You don't have to go to some of these big box national. You can find an independent dealer and you can just grab it, sell it, and buy it, and they have ratings, so you know you're dealing with good people. I have not ever had any issue dealing with dealers on eBay. Anyway, this is Texas Tiger Diggs. I hope that's helpful for you.